Okay.
Yes.
महाराज साहब आपके चरणों में वंदामी 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 वंदामी.
Arham.
And thank you for inviting me. My today's lecture is on damaging the cosmos space in general. And when we see our middle loka, astronomical object, Jyotish Deva, and we compare
Rajmal Jain, sorry, I have muted other participants. So please start again. You have to unmute yourself. You have to unmute yourself. Please start. Yeah, unmute yourself.
I'm audible or not?
Yeah, you are audible. You are audible. Only part
Okay.
because participants were doing some.
I will start again.
Okay, okay. Sorry for that.
It's okay. It happens. You see, we are talking from a distance. महाराज साहब आपके चरणों में वंदामी वंदामी वंदामी. My today's topic is related to the space cosmos. I will talk particularly about the middle cosmos, middle loka, and when we compare ourselves, a single individual or a single life relative to the astronomical objects or the activities which are taking place in the Madhya Loka, we find insignificant ourselves, negligible. But what we see as on today on the earth is lot of pride, lot of anger, lot of passion, all those such activities which directly or indirectly are related to the violence. So my today's Mangalacharan is related to that only, to give off, just to throw out this pride, passion, anger, all these things. So let me start this thing. अहंकार का भाव न रखूं, नहीं किसी पर खेद करूं, देख दूसरों की बढ़ती को कभी न ईर्ष्या भाव धरूं, रहे भावना ऐसी मेरी, सरल सत्य व्यवहार करूं, बने जहां तक इस जीवन में औरों का उपकार करूं, मैत्रीभाव जगत में मेरा सब जीवों से नित्य रहे, तीन दुखी जीवों पर मेरे उर से करुणा स्रोत बहे, दुर्जन कूर कुमार्ग रतों पर शोभ नहीं मुझको आवे, साम्य भाव रखूं मैं उन पर ऐसी परिणीति हो जावे. बोलिए आदिनाथ भगवान की जय. बोलिए महावीर भगवान की जय. Please give me 1 minute or so. So I will now go to my presentation. So can you see my this PPT? Are you able to see?
Yes, yes, yes. It is visible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
Welcome to the whole audience. And so today we are going to talk on a very different topic. The topic is different, that whatever we are doing a lot of violence on the earth or in the nearby ourselves in the society, but we are also doing, and you all will be surprised to know that how much violence we are doing in the space just for the satisfaction of our ego or our lifestyle or our nature, our pride, etc. However, what is that topic where it is going to be surprised? See, I have been telling right from the first lecture about our universe. And in that first lecture, I told that it is divided into three parts or three lokas: upper loka, madhya loka, that is middle cosmos, and then lower cosmos. Today, I will talk only about the middle cosmos. We know that the life or jiva, soul, is everywhere in the whole cosmos, complete lokakash, but it does not exist in the transcosmos or transuniverse. So it is fully packed everywhere, we say. It is fully packed with the non-biotic, that is abiotic, that is Pudgal, we can say. So there are two major components, biotic and abiotic. Now this biotic, that is life, and abiotic, Pudgal, both remain always in dynamic form. They don't remain simply in static form. They generally remain in dynamic form. And they are existing everywhere somehow. In this existence of our world, that is of the biotic and abiotic, there are many other celestial objects which we talk in when we talk about the middle cosmos. That is what we say Jyotish Dev. And that is the all natural phenomena which take place. If you might having not forgotten, I told in my the last talk also when I was talking about the environment imbalance, there are few natural processes. But in contrast to that, we are doing also human activities in such a way that we want to overtake those natural processes, or we want to overtake the laws of nature. And that is the only crime. I will use the word crime. And that is the big violence, because not we are killing a a simple 1 cent or 2 cents to 5 cents life, but we are trying to kill millions and millions, trillions and trillions of lives, as well as trying to disturb the nature, universe, the laws of nature. We are trying to disturb them also. And that is what we will learn today. I will talk on those issues. Let me start with a few concepts. First, what is that Parmanu which we call Parmanu, which is a real entity of this whole universe. And that is the smallest particle which cannot be further divided. And that smallest particle, whatever the space, whatever the area, whatever the region it covers, that is known as Pradesh. That is a point. Pradesh means point. Just like Atma Pradesh, that is a soul point. And Akash Pradesh means space point. So when I say that Pradesh, that point, so the first thing is a single Parmanu, a single smallest atom of the Chinese, whatever the area it covers, that is the space point. The question now arises that how then it has been told in our literature, whether it is Tattvarth Sutra, Moksha Shastra, Swatantrata Ke Sutra, or Dravya Sangraha, many other Panchastikaya you take. Okay. It has been written that the space point basically gives the space, it gives the room, it gives the house where it can accommodate not only the Sol point, but all other Dharmastikai, Adharmastikai, Pudgal, Sol, and even the Kalanu, that is time. So all these, so what is Akash? What is that space? What is that cosmos? The cosmos basically is, is some kind of a reality which provides a room, house, where all these things are accommodated. But in each every space point, so the whole cosmos is basically an integration or a summation of infinite to infinite, ananta anant number of space points. And each space point has the soul that is biotic as well as the abiotic dharmastikai, adharmastikai, pudgal, and kala. Now the question comes also further that how much, how much in one Akash Pradesh, in one space point can come? Yes. When I say it is a biotic and abiotic, then everything you see can come in that it can be a numerable, sankhyat, it can be innumerable, asankhya, and it can be even sometimes infinite terms. So when I say Pudgal, means it has in each every space point all the 23 varganas, that is characteristics. It has the sol point along with the microbes or nanobes to up to the padar, that is the larger sense life. Similarly here, Parmanu to Skandha also, it can be accommodated in that. Because I'm not giving a talk on this various kinds of different components, and I will not describe also the details. But one thing we should remember that neither dharmastika nor adharmastika, they have these properties of the matter. What are the fundamental properties of the matter? The sparsh, touch, right? Color, then this taste, ras, gandha, etc., smell, etc. So dharmastika and adharmastika, they don't have this kind of property. So don't consider, some people consider the gravitational force maybe adharmastika force. No, I will say no, absolutely not. And similarly, for the dharmastika, some people refer the radiative force, the radiation which is coming outside, may be a dharmastika. No, that is also no. Dharmastika and adharmastika are only simply act as a medium. For example, water is a medium, and even if water is not flowing, but the fish inside that reservoir also can still move. So the motion which is provided to the fish to swim or to cross from one point to other point, so that is dharmastika, still medium, but the water is not flowing. I am speaking here in Ahmedabad, and you are listening all the way in USA or even in different parts of the world. The Shabda Bhasha or Shabda Vargana, my words, they are reaching. So media is there. So some kind of a medium is there, and you are listening over there. It is not that, so the word is moving, but the medium is not. Medium is stable always. Medium is required. So medium is required that you know that if it is vacuum, then my voice cannot reach over. So dharmastikai, adharmastikai, we will take some time in greater detail how they work, etc. But at the moment, you have to consider that now one space point has the life inside, and all the forces that is media related to and the all other characteristics of a Pudgal along with a time. So whenever you send some kind of a spiritual wave or thought waves, and it goes all the way to the space point, then space point, the vibration takes place and that returns with a frequency sensing to that particular vargana, whether it is related to Shabd or it is Karm vargana, etc., and then returns back and comes all the way back to the our earth and each individual who has done that kind of a karm activity. So what basically happens that if I try to change now this whole space point, or I want to disturb this space point, you can imagine that how much big crime it is. Or on the way, when I launch my any kind of a evil activity, then on the way, right from the atmosphere of the earth to all the way into middle cosmos, in, inside these astronomical objects, billions and trillions of lives, not only I am killing, but I am trying to disturb the positions also. So we will talk about that. So first of all, I summed up that the life actually, the soul point exists everywhere in the cosmos, that is in all the three lokas. Please remember, but we are not going to talk about the three lokas. Whatever the astronomical objects are there, that is only in middle cosmos. You can read my many articles which I have written related to that. Now there are many natural processes. They are the self-regulated processes. They are taking place among the celestial objects. The celestial objects, what we call as a stars, sun, planets, okay, and comets, etc., asteroids, galaxies, meteorites, gases, particles, whatever modification as per their self system is taking place. In Jainism, we say it is a paryaya. That is, form is changing. Its form changes. That is the energy that is from the radiation and particle, that is mass and that is radiation also, that changes the form. But it does not mean that it is changing the space point itself, because space points are fixed in the cosmos. On the other hand, what we are doing, human activities, just like our individual or induced objects, what we launch or what we are doing with our self-interest, say for our communication faster, or for mining, that is, we want to know how much trees are there, how much the geological property is there, where I can undertake the mining, where I can take the deforestation, so that remote sensing. So various kinds of satellites, as per our need, we are launching. Any satellite can be launched employing the rockets, and the rockets are of different types depending on our requirement, whether we want to launch the satellite simply in the Earth's atmosphere, say from 200 to 500 kilometers for remote sensing or monitoring our borders, or for our oceans remote sensing, etc. Or we want to do this launching the satellites for our communication system in the geosynchronous orbit that 36,000 kilometers above, very high. So that is for our faster communication. Or we want to put large number of satellites, not one or two or hundred, thousands and thousands of satellites for better communication and faster communication. Or we want to go even further outer space for the moon, Mars, Jupiter, this, Saturn, etc., or even out of our solar system to understand. So different kinds of payloads, that is experimental labs we are putting inside. And for all that, machinery and tools are required that we are launching. So When they fail, then the lot of junk, lot of wastes is existing, hanging around everywhere. So why it is that? It is only for our pride, abhiman, it is for passion, rag, dvesh, greed, lobh, lalach, etc. That is all I include in the self-interest. Let us see. Let us see first what kind of natural processes that are taking place. However, these natural processes also, that is a paryaya changes, form changes, also at that time many kinds of lives might have been killed also, God knows, but that happens. I just tell you, what do I mean by form changes? I just give you one example only of the sun. Please take a note of this slide that the earliest time when the whole universe was formed, and after something like a 5 billions of years, you can say this gaseous material, which was very, very large gaseous material, and it was hanging and it was rotating, and under that rotational force, it finally came under a crunch and big, large, because mass was there, and it was very, very hot. So, very high temperature. So, when it condensed, then that hot temperature of 15 million degree K, it allowed it to fuse the hydrogen inside. First, remember that in the whole universe, the large hydrogen gas is there. Please remember, the universe is the major component of the universe is hydrogen gas, or you can say protons are there. Hydrogen is a proton. So when thermonuclear reactions came, then it changed the form. So it is in the form of the billions of years. So after 1 billion year, 2 billion year. So what I wish to say, when the sun was very, very young, at the age of say 2 billion years or 3 billion years or 4 billion years, it was emitting, say, it was emitting very high energy radiation. What do I mean by high energy radiation? That is gamma rays, X rays, extreme ultraviolet rays, which kill. And the whole high energy radiation dose was almost coming down to the earth, and it was not allowing the life to evolve on the earth. But you see, the form changes, and the sun finally slowly started to move, as on I have shown with the blue arrow, you can see. And currently we are about the 4.5 billion years past story. And now you see it is has moved much more in last half a billion year toward the infrared rays, as well as much more radiation in the visible. And so we are receiving such a good light every day. We are धूप में जाते हैं, we are enjoying the sunlight radiation, we are enjoying the heat also, which is sun. And the life started almost half a billion year on the earth in various forms. It gives energy, you see. It was giving energy, but the form of energy and the quantity has changed. And it will be continuously changing, and that is what the form changes. पर्याय बदलता रहे. It will go simply again in the next such 4.5 billion years in the next future. It will become slowly, it will lose the hydrogen, and it will become a star of the helium. And then the blast will take place, and finally very small material will be left over. We call is a red giant will be there. So by and large, every star has this kind of a story. The stars which form young, you can see in this diagram, which is something like a temperature versus its the luminosity, that is brightness. So when you have a star, when it is newly born, very, very high temperature, then we call as a blue star, and its luminosity is extremely extraordinarily high. And it stars which have some kind of a much lower than that temperature. Okay, that is when I say temperature, means not the temperature inside the core, but I'm talking about the surface temperature. Say, for example, the sun presently has the surface temperature of about 6,000 degree Kelvin. And so it appears around yellow to us. But those which have more than 10 or 20,000 degree Kelvin, they have the blue. So they will appear in the spectrum or in the telescope when we do observation, they will throw much more blue light. So this HR diagram, Hertzsprung result diagram, all the stars in the various galaxies or in the universe can be can be put up on this as a function of their surface temperature and their luminosity, one kind of a diagram, and it can explain when a star which is born newly 20,000 degree K surface temperature will slowly move towards down, and it will finally become a yellow star, a medium sized star, and then it will blow off and move to the red giant, or slowly it may go to the white dwarf, a very small white. So these are all what I wish to say happens in our Madhya Loka, in the Jyotish Devas Akash, and all, whether it is a star or the planet, every, I mean, celestial object changes its form. So पर्याय तो बदलता ही रहता है. See, you can see our own galaxy. I moved from the universe to now our own galaxy. And such galaxies, I told, if you remember, that there are many such galaxies, millions of galaxies, even inside the Jambudvip itself. And within the Jambudvip, the three important continents we talk, Eravat, Vide, and Bharat Kshetra. And each is a small universe. Even Bharat Kshetra itself also, because the science currently we are talking on the earth, it has not gone even outside of Bharat Kshetra. Already millions of galaxies inside the Bharat Kshetra. Our own Milky Way is inside this Bharat Kshetra where we are talking, and where we look in the sky from the earth, we see this galaxy. And here you can see that every galaxy has a serpent kind of a different feathers. We call it as a spiral shape. Many spiral S kind of shapes are there, and this S shape is very much important. I'm not going to describe why it is so important in Jainism also, but it has already been described in our canonical texts. That the sigmoidal, this is known as the sigmoidal, and the sigmoidal, you know that the two sigmoidal opposite to each other, they form the swastik. Our swastik is nothing but the sigmoidal. If you go in this also, then it has the one branch of swastik. And if you go make it opposite side, that is universe and anti-universe, then you can form the swastik. So similar kind of, like, many kinds of branches are there, and this, in every arm, there are large number of stars are there, and there are large number of stars which have planets also. So sometime we will discuss what are the planets even within our own galaxy, other than our solar system. But you can see the many constellations, our zodiacs, Rashi, Nakshatra, all are here only, and they move and they cross. When they cross to each other relative to the center, or to the respective position, or relative to the position of the sun, then we call that nakshatra is here and here. That is the form, or as function of time, it is changing. But it does not mean that the number of stars on position itself has changed. The radius of our own galaxy Milky Way is about 50,000 light years. Its a diameter, it's a 1 lakh light years. And from the center of this galaxy, our sun is about 30,000 light years. Please remember, the sun is about 30,000 light years away from the center of this galaxy. And sitting here, that sun at 30,000 light years, it goes around this center in almost 26 lakhs of years. That is one as 26 lakh varsh, and that is what we call in our astronomical language, in Jyotish language, or in our Jain canonical texts, Tattvarth Sutra, as well as Trilopannati, we call as a uh, what we call as a Brahmand Varsh, cosmic year. Varsh, cosmic year is of about 26.5 lakh years. Let us go to the next, actually, that what happens in the space. When I say that the form changes, what do I mean by that? So please, everybody should listen, and everybody should, I request, to see and watch very well, because this is a movie, a video based on the real observations and combining the images from the different satellites which we have taken. So please watch what happens in this our own solar system. This is the New York, that is a Times Square. So we are moving above the Earth actually. This is whole our green planet. And when we see from the space, then it looks, because of the large water mass, the blue planet. And when we go up and up, so we are trying to probe this our Earth by remote sensing, and we want to facilitate our own life, or the luxurious, to make it luxurious life by the satellites. To know that around the Earth, the moon is there, and this is the moon which is coming, and it goes around, and we are probing the Earth and moon by the satellites. But when we also know the fact that when the moon comes in the front of the sun, then we have a total solar eclipse. So this was the total solar eclipse. I will talk again about the total solar eclipse today in this presentation. These are the real images of the sun taken from the SOHO satellite, European Space Agency satellite. And you can see this images which are taken in the helium filter, and we can see the what I was talking about, the high temperature gases, magnetic field, lines of force, and the explosions which are taking place on the sun, the flares, mass ejections, etc. I would like to have your kind attention on the place over here where you can see that how the material which is coming, or the radiation which is coming from inside, but finally it comes to the convection like bubbles when the water boils takes place. Similarly, I would like to show that inside the sun, actually from the sun, large number of explosions are keep on taking place. It is not any one time, but I told the solar wind, which is continuously. So large number of explosions are taking place. Now where this material, this mass, this energy transfers, it transfers from the sun to the whole solar system. And when it, such high charged particle, plasma, radiation, material, when it comes all the way from the sun to the earth, then of course something new phenomena which will take place, and that is we are experiencing every day. What kind of phenomena we experience every day? Just to see in this movie. This is the sun, and you see when the explosion takes place on the sun, and the big mass comes from the sun, all the way from the sun, this material comes with a 300 to 500 kilometer per second, and it collides with the lines of force, magnetic lines of force of the earth. Earth is somewhere here, and you see that the magnetic lines of force which were broken up, they again recombine on the backside, and then the plasma makes the beautiful blue, yellow, red color light at the North Pole and South Pole, which we call as a polar aurora or the borealis. So see, these are the all regulated, self-regulated phenomena. The form changes, and the nature presents the beauty many, many times. But nature also present not only this self-regulated system. As I told the last time, that the self-organized criticality is also there. So when the stored energy is full, then it has to be exploded, whether it is on the sun or it is inside the earth. like earthquake, volcanoes, etc. And similarly, it happens with the human being also. When you are stored up with the large amount of money or some other properties in any form, finally it has to come down. So these all natural phenomena take place. There are many kinds of asteroids. They also collide, and there are many comets which come all the way from a very distance away from the sun, but finally they come close to the sun and they die inside the sun. Only few comets remain which have the longer orbits, just like comet Halley, etc. Otherwise, small comets, they come and get crashed themselves and they fall down inside the sun. So these are all our things are happening in the sun, but at a regular interval as a self-regulated system, and human has no control on these kinds of things. Now the sun actually is throwing the two things. That is what we call as a total solar irradiance. That is the radiation which is coming from the photosphere of the sun and from different parts, different atmosphere of the sun, as well as the particles, charged particles, plasma, solar wind, high energy particles, etc. And from the cosmos, as I told, galactic cosmic rays are coming up and they form the clouds, etc. So there is some kind of a tug of war between the solar radiation and the cosmic. I told the last time that when the large number of sunspots are there, then the galactic cosmic rays are not allowed to come all the way down to control the human activities. When sunspots are less, then the galactic cosmic ray will come and they will control the human activity or the nature on the earth and as well as in other planets. So it is some kind of a play between them, as well as the many kind of between these two, that is solar irradiance and galactic cosmic ray. Lot of atmospheric chemistry is being changed, and this chemistry is very important. That is called as the chemistry of the natural process. But on the other hand, through this violence activities, hinsa jo kar rahe, which is completely prohibited, not allowed. And that is what we are doing. And we are planning, trying to change the whole atmospheric chemistry. And as a consequence of changing atmospheric chemistry, we are changing the climate. We are changing the biodiversity. We are degrading our environment. So, dear participants, my colleagues, what I wish to say that the one activity which I already described earlier in my lectures, we are doing from the down, from the earth based for our greed, but we are doing also some activities in the space, very above the earth's atmosphere, in the system of the nature that is in the Jyotish Deva, celestial objects, and that is very dangerous. So let me explain what we are doing. You can see that here, that this is the sun, okay? And the Earth's orbit is like this. And there are many other planets like Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus. When we launch the satellite, then it goes, through our atmosphere, and it goes and very close to the other, planets. And finally, we do by various maneuvers that where we want to establish it or install that in which orbit or platform. So when we do this kind of thing, don't you think whatever I described, that we are trying to change the form, or we are trying to kill the lives during this whole launch, right from the launching to the manures, and when it goes to different planets, etc. You can imagine how many trillions and trillions lives or the soul points we are killing within, and we are trying to disturb the space point. So that is why whatever the situation today on the earth, we have been observing, whether it is a consequence of the only climate change activities sitting on the earth, or even due to this by launching or the activities that we are doing in the space, which I call as a damaging activities in the space. So you can see already since last, right from the 1957, so almost in this 60, 70 years, you can say that large number of satellites we have already launched, and the satellites have gone even out of the solar system, away from there. Okay, just like Pioneer, Voyager, etc. So we have done lot of things, and now the repercussions. We are enjoying. We are clapping the hands. Oh, we have achieved big victory, but at what cost? At what cost? I'm not saying the cost of the price or the at the cost of this, but at the cost of the life, at the cost of so much violence which we have done. And this will be much more expensive. This is what I wish to convey in my today's talk. It will be much more expensive than even changing the climate. I would like to give you one example. I was very much overwhelmed when Indian Space Research Organization had given me opportunity looking at my success of the satellite, that solar X-ray spectrometer GSAT-2 and the Chandrayaan and all these things, lot of my experimental activities. They gave me opportunity that, okay, Rajmal, can you conduct an experiment at the Antarctica, South Pole, because the solar eclipse, total solar eclipse will be visible from there, and it will be unique. Such a total solar eclipse, because of its long duration, it will not be visible in next hundreds of years. So if we can cover and we can see the diamond ring at which will be visible at the time of total. Although because of the lot of other my commitments, I could not go, but many other colleagues, when we decided that we will do this solar astronomy from the ice at the Antarctica, we did that experiment. I would like to give you that joy, but then later on, after doing all this, I realized that what finally we have achieved, it is okay science-wise, it's a magnificent, but whether it was necessary and whether we, whatever the lives which we have killed at the Antarctica, during the ship voyage also on the ocean, and even in the space when by doing all this experiment. Anyway, my this experiment is just to show the enjoyment. Please enjoy seeing the diamond ring, which I saw also in the uh, palace of the Elizabeth Queen in her personal museum. That is what we call Kohinoor diamond, which is not with us, but it is with them now. So just see and enjoy. First, on this board, white board, you will see the black shades, that is we call as a shadow bands, and that is some kind of a evidence that when the total solar eclipse takes place, that is when the moon passes in front of the sun, then there is atmospheric pressure changes. And that paper I had written in Nature along with my other colleagues, American colleagues, etc. I was in USA at that time, student, and this shadow bands discovery was there. So you can see before the eclipse and after the eclipse the shadow bands, and then I will take you to the horizon where the telescope sees the sun, solar eclipse. You can see the shadow bands now on the whiteboard. I would like to be thankful to Dr. Uh, S.K. Bhandari, Suryakant, and Professor Bagare and other team who took the whole designed instrument. Now you can see at the horizon, and corona you can see the corona and plumers, that gas which is coming out, and now the moon is going to just going to start, and you will see that diamond Kohinoor trapezium, which is lying in the Elizabeth Museum. When I went to United Kingdom to receive that award of FRS, I was taken to the Elizabeth Queen, and then she showed me that Kohinoor. Now see, just say, please,
Yes. Yeah,
just
it is
see it.
visible. Mhm.
This is Kohinoor, you see. So that for just for this picture, we went there.
So
So
it is a diamond.
it is a diamond ring with the diamond Kohinoor, which we call, which was there with the Raja Ranjit Singh, Punjab.
Oh,
Uh,
okay,
and that
okay.
was taken during the British time. That Kohinoor was taken by them, and it is lying. And if you see that Kohinoor, you will see
Mhm.
the same this kind of reflections coming out from that everywhere.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So now I have already given you some kind of a flavor that what natural processes are taking place, and as a result of that, the this Paryaya changes. But during that, whatever the things are happening, they are beyond our human control, and that is part of the nature. It's a self-regulated system. Now, what I wish to say is that human activities, in addition to that, and we are doing, it is all our own desire of this self-interest, just for the money or for the fastness, or our, we want to show that yes, we are highly intelligent, like that. So self-interest, what we are able to do, you see, you know that the when very recently during the corona period, on the 18th February 2021, this mission to the Mars, it was launched, and it actually landed on the Mars, and lot of joy all over the world. You see, people enjoyed. Oh yes, we have done very successfully everything. So this joy is important, or the self-regulated system is important. After all, we what we want to do. I'm also scientist. Yes, I enjoyed actually a lot, and I came. I think to some extent, I can say I came to pride when my mission to the sun, when it went to successfully. Still, it is a marked as a historical satellite. So those kind of things are there, and you can see that finally people ask why we want to go into space. You can also ask me that why we want to go into space. What is the benefit? We will simply, scientist people say that it provides us an opportunity to improve our knowledge about our own neighboring planets, other celestial objects, and the whole universe as a whole. We may also actually learn about the life in the other planets, exoplanets, what we call, how whether it is the same, or at least we can learn what was the real soup, where it was existing for the life. As we know currently, and all scientists generally propose that the soup was in the comet, and the comet when fell down all the way on the earth, then the life actually started on the earth. When the sun radiation was suitable, it gave the energy, suitable energy, and the life evolution started. So that may be the one idea, objective of the, and that is with that objective only we are moving. Then the people say that, you see, we can use this space for the remote sensing. We want to know how many lions are there in the forests. We want to know how many mango trees are there. We want to know that at our borders, how much army is there, what kind of the other arteries are there, or we want to know the what are the ocean properties are there. Because not for that knowledge, actually we basic aim is a greed. Basic aim is a greed or the pride, ego, and we want to look and then try to earn out of that. And for that, even for the communication, that 36,000 kilometer, which I told, that their communication satellites, and for faster system, first 2G was there, 3G was there, currently 4G, and now the new generation started 5G. And 5G is already dangerous, we know, but still we want to do, and we are planning for even the 7G. Can you believe that what will happen at that time? Then, then the third idea was there that we can do, you see, use the space technology for many other applications, just like a power generation on the moon, or the space technology for launching the satellite of the new generation satellites from the moon or in the air or from the other planets. Yes, we should do all these things. Also, yes, I also believe as a scientist, but at what cost? At what cost? Whether we were at the cost of killing people, killing the lives, killing the 1 cent to the 5 cents, all the way at different places inside the space, inside the cosmos. When I say again, I would like to repeat that when I say today cosmos or space, means I am restricting my whole talk to the middle cosmos only and to the astronomical side. But what reality is there, I just tell you why I am saying. Please again give attention. What is really happening? The in my one of the cryogenic engine when it was tested, and big mass of few thousands of kilograms and a few tons mass was launched. 15 seconds. And then at that time, what happened? You can believe that in 100 kilometer or maybe 500 kilometer radius, no life exists. Everything you can say from small sense, and all the people are asked to vacate. Can you see how much, how many millions of tons fumes are there, and they kill all the life, small sense life all the way. And we are clapping the hands because it is successful. Yes, success to be enjoyed, success to be celebrated. And I was a party of this in celebration. So this was a great achievement of our Indian Space Research Organization. And I can say that it is a remarkable achievement. But now what I wish to tell to you that this is till half an hour, 1 hour, the rocket, you see all the fumes, fumes which are coming up outside, and they release the ultraviolet, they release the carbon dioxide, or what we call is a black carbon soot also, kajal, and many sulfur dioxide, many other radioactive particles. It means we are launching one satellite, but we are on the other hand also launching the dangerous gases and particles. I will stop it over here because it is maybe a long video. And now I would like to show the reality. This is the reality. And this is a very small reality. Whatever some kind of a cartoon show could be done, that around our whole earth and in this middle cosmos, Madhya Loka, it is full of now large number of satellites, their parts, the defunct satellites, operating satellites, their broken pieces, and not only million but billions of pieces are there. They are existing there, and they are continuously colliding with our space points. आकाश प्रदेश के साथ में टकराते रहते हैं. They are continuously doing. They collide with each other. They collide with all these things. When I say that dharmastikaya, adharmastikaya forces, they don't have physical kind of any structure. No, because I told that all four important realities are missing in them. That is touch, color, taste, smell, etc. But they are non-physical, but they are actually there as a media, just like air is not visible, for your information, but air exists and we feel it when the breeze touches to our body. Similarly, all the space points are everywhere. They are close to each other. Close, thas means close to each other. They are not moving like simply like that. But these other particles, they go and collide with the many other our space points, as well as on the way where it was so clean once upon a time, say 70, 80 years before, and now it is full of kachra, that garbage or junk. So what people say that whether there is example of collision, yes, there are many examples. I would like to say that the USSR, uh, in 2009, there was a satellite, big satellite, actually, not a small satellite. It was some kind of a space station, Cosmos 2251. And this collided with the American real live satellite, that which was the active. Its name was Iridium 33. And that Cosmos was defunct. You can say it was already finished. And when they both collided, then more than 2,000 pieces actually came out as a debris of and size of that more than 10 centimeter in diameter. It means more than 4 inch. It is a big in the space. If I talk 10 centimeter means it is a big uh, size. And when it collides even with a one man, okay, then it can finish not only that one man, but then the next to almost all 100 people which will come under that collision, it will kill and still it will survive. So it can kill the astronaut in the space, it can finish up the, and later on, not only 2,000 big pieces, but the small pieces are in millions, you see, and they are still staying in the space and may survive for 20 to 100 years in the space. It means what? And when this USSR Cosmos was actually collided and broken up, then the radioactive particle, because of the for calibration purpose, we keep inside the radioisotope cells, and so they also split up, and the radioactive particles are there. You know that how dangerous the radioactive radiations are. That is nuclear radiations. So still 50% of mass still is over there, and it will survive. What is this when I say, what is this space junk? What do I mean by this? Launching all these things. Space junk basically is space debris or any piece of machinery of the live satellite or dead satellite, okay, whenever collision takes place, or from the junk from the human in which are in space, etc. It can be actually a big object. It can be a nano object also. And finally, what happens that whenever such things, I mean, collision takes place, then it is filled, or when the satellite is failed, etc., then it means what people do, what scientists do, what engineers do, they try to deorbit. They launch it from that orbit to the slightly higher up. So it goes there and it is keep on orbiting above that. And whenever it happens by chance, then it may collide with the active satellite or maybe with the other particle to particle or a part by part or junk to junk. And many such kind of things happen when we go to the other planets like moon or Mars, etc. Then also, and we can leave also. Many people have left over on the moon, Mars, many things. And now, whatever the we have left over there, or the rocket when it goes, as I showed just now, when the rocket when is launched, then behind it, it releases the large amount of gases that plumes, in which carbon dioxide, black carbon, even the nuclear particles, and many other kinds of methane gas, which all are the dangerous gases. They are, and what they will do, because they are coming downside, so they will pollute our own atmosphere. So at what cost we are doing? We are trying to kill our own atmosphere itself. And which atmosphere? I'm not saying the down where our climate by and large in the troposphere, etc. No, our stratosphere. When I say stratosphere, means just imagine our Videk Kshetra. Please imagine our Videk Kshetra, and in which the whole conditions are homogeneous, are almost of one kind of a uniform temperature, uniform pressure, and density and everything is almost, so it is much more suitable for meditation, etc. We will talk sometime next. But our stratosphere, which is hardly of a few kilometers, and we are trying to disturb that stratosphere by launching or by filling it up with these dangerous gases and increasing its temperature. How much it is there, you can see by numbers. If I say that it is more than 2,000 active satellites already currently in Earth's orbit, and this data with me is up to 2021. I have not updated, and more than 3,000 dead satellites are there, and they are in Earth's orbit. And above the Earth's orbit, also few are there, and 34,000 pieces of space junk more than 10 centimeter, 128 million pieces of space junk of between 1 centimeter, or you can say around that larger than 1 millimeter to 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter means 1 centimeter. They're 128, and these are the much more dangerous because they come all the way many times to our atmosphere and burn up, and their ash comes down, and that is related to the radioactive particles. 1 in 10,000, that is 1 in 10 to power 4, always risk is there of collision. Much of the we are safe because of our Earth's atmosphere and our Earth's magnetosphere. भगवान का खूब खूब आशीर्वाद है कि we have atmosphere and magnetosphere to protect ourselves. But I don't know why we are trying to kill these two, magnetosphere as well as the atmosphere, and try to kill ourselves as well as to other lives. 25 debris avoidance maneuvers by the International Space Station have to be done since 1999. This is regular phenomena. And how many times we will do? It means we have to develop the technology to do something automatically and looking at them. There are a lot of other things. Just please give me 1 minute because it is obscuring my. Oops. Okay. How does this it goes this space junk into the space? Basically, as I told, we are launching the satellites ourselves. Okay. Either just between 200 to 500 kilometer for the remote sensing and for the communication at the 36,000 kilometer, and above that also to the millions of kilometers for the outer space. Now, in this all process of launching the satellite, the you see, we have left whatever bits and pieces to the machines and tools, all the things which we have living over there. We have not brought back to them. Hardly 1%, even 0.01% efforts are there. So United Nations has given even a warning also recently that please remove everything in next 25 years because otherwise it will kill to the people on the earth. So lots of things are there, and this satellite, they leave actually this kachra, this junk for hundreds to thousands of years. So we have to be very careful and uh, so this posed to the space exploration the very many risks. When now in view of this, so many satellites over there, and now we want to launch another satellite. I would like to tell that many companies like Amazon, SpaceX, they are planning even another series of the satellites, not only 1 or 10 or thousands, so that they can have an internet or the networking system and the faster communication, etc. See, all these things are there, but basically the climate satellite, once it broke down just 2 years back, March 2021, and now March 2023 is about to come. And it also collided, and the space junk which is there, we are not able to take care of that junk itself. And this is very recent example. And similarly, small collisions are already taking place with the many other satellites in the space. And as a result, our charge coupled device camera are failed because they are there and they take the photographs. Then whatever our solar energy panels, they are crashed. So many kinds of the things happen in the space. We can have to clear up, as I told, that in next 25 years. So that there are some efforts by few countries, and what they do, they are trying to make how to take the whole this space junk back and take it down, drag it down to the earth and then burn it. There are many other techniques. They can take a magnetic bag or some kind of a trapping system, or the crashing in the space itself by the laser or fire, etc. So there are many, many techniques. But all the way, whatever we do, what I wish to say that one simple thing. Yes, I agree with all the scientists, with the space scientists. We should do exploration to study, but our plan should be in such a way that whatever the satellite we launch, first think how we will take it back it down, and we will not leave that as a junk in the space. Because if you will live over there, either in the space or on the any other planets like the moon or the Mars, or maybe in the future on the Venus, etc., it will create many, many problems. I can show one example that is a problem in the future because the SpaceX, as well as the Amazon, as I told, and the large network they are planning. And that large network is in the sense they want to give the large number of connections. Say one man, in fact, I have two connections and I'm already tired with this. If I have 10 connections, how I will, but I want to make it faster. So perhaps industrialists or business people, they need 10 or 20 or 100 connections. And for that, because they want, and why they do need this connection? Basically, you ask them question, because to earn more money. So finally, the end result will be either the pride or the greed, which is against the aparigraha rule and so forth. Basically, all these things are very dangerous in the future. I would like to say that on the moon, we people have left many, many things on that. And just for the eco, many things, even Apollo whole that 14, 15, 16, 17, they have left many, many probes also, and many other material, even 190,000 kilogram material they have left over there. And basically, if we will not remove all this space junk from a given planet, even a small planet like a moon, then how we will make use of the moon for another kind of a technology which we say that we want to generate the power, etc., from there, or we want to thresh out the water. But how we will do when we are putting so much junk? It is some kind of a junkyard if we are trying to make it like that. So, what are the things which are left on the moon? I will go very briefly. In the right from the 1959, Luna 2 was there, and then the whole Luna 2 satellite itself is dropped over there. Nothing, because it was failed finally, fell down. Similarly, 1999 Ranger by USA. So all the satellites which were launched on the moon, they have been thrown on the moon itself, even up to the Chandrayaan by 2008 recently by, and Chang'e also by China, and the Israel, whatever we are sending and then we are throwing over. So it has become a satellite junkyard of the whole moon. Then some other strange objects left over the moon. Just see now the eco, or we want to show there are no people on the moon. There is no life. There is no, I mean, air. It is all vacuum. But some golden olive branch is kept by Apollo 11. Okay, art by Andy. What is Tall? Apollo 20, Apollo 12. There's many kinds of such kinds of things. Even photograph of the big shots of the family or astronauts. Falcon feather has been left by Apollo 15, etc. So you can see that all now. It is only that somebody will see. But the sun radiation, which are very hot on the moon, now whether it will not interact with those all items and it will change its paryay, will not, their form will be changed by the time when anybody else will take the notice of all those objects. Who is responsible for all these things? I should name this time very clearly. The Russia is the largest country, top in the list, which has left over there more than 7,000 items, including satellites, payloads, the other machineries, tools. USA is the next, China, France, Japan, even the India also to some extent, and then ESA and UK. So the countries which are very active, I should say, in launching the satellites to explore the space, they are actually not taking care of the space junk, and which they should do. With this, the space, the future space journey, basically the space tourism is coming up as another devil. I should say it is another big, terrible project which is coming up. Of course, yes, people should go and explore. You see, when the industrialist people, when they went up in the sky, then the whole world clapped. Okay, but the scientists themselves, they were weeping. They were weeping. Why? Because they were thinking that if this thing will come as a reality, then it will be a big problem for the cosmos, for these astronomical objects, as well as for our Earth itself. And they felt too much because this will use the rockets. And if you see this plot, as of now, up to 2021, then you can see this by as a function of the time and how many numbers of this space junk. So this top at the is the total number of items, that is the payloads, satellites, defunct satellites, spacecrafts, machineries, tools, etc., and the other items which have been left out. So these different colors actually show the different items, and the top red thick line is the total number of, and you see that it is exponential growth. This is what I wanted to show. This is the nature of the humans. If you remember my earlier talk, that our greed is going up, our cruelty is going up, and this is what the cruelty toward the space, toward the cosmos, toward the what I say as a damaging to our own cosmos, our own space, our own Madhyaloka. So this is what big actually warning to all of us, and we should try to explore, but with the suitable planning, how we will bring back the space crunch. I think time is, I think already 9:15, but I have only 2-3 slides. I will finish. The
You can
most another important. Can I take another 5
No, you
minutes?
can.
yes, you can take.
Oh, okay, thank you. When I was showing the rocket launch, then I showed you today, I demonstrate that in my demonstration, I showed that how much large number of plumes, gases with a high temperature, they were coming outside. And in a recent experiment, it was then analyzed that when this rocket is being launched, rocket goes up as higher and higher altitude. The chlorine actually from out of that, its fuel is coming out. And chlorine is always dangerous to our ozone. Halides, chlorine comes under halide, that is chloride, bromide, iodide, etc. So they always create the holes inside the ozone. So the whole world, 1990, because the ozone, large number of ozone holes were there, and some countries came together to fill up the holes, that is to launch the ozone. And we are now almost in a good condition that ozone is back to the normal state. But in a recent study, that actually these rockets which carrying the fuel, it has the chlorine, and the chlorine as well as even the sulfur dioxide also. So the ozone holes are there. Now, the other thing, very important, this rocket actually fumes. They launch on the backside the black carbon. Black carbon, you know, the suit. लड़कियां जो आंखों में काजल लगाती है, that kind of, and that is the suit. It is there. It is much more dangerous because the suit absorbs the sun radiation, and this is all what I am talking. Not in near to the Earth, that is where the climate we are talking, the troposphere, but I'm talking in the stratosphere and ozonosphere, almost 20-25 kilometer above, from 10 kilometer and above, up to the even mesosphere, which are very clean. But what we are putting, because we are trying to change through this black carbon suit. So this, I was telling that the suit actually absorbs the solar radiation. And so the temperature in the stratosphere will go up, as well as because of the presence of the chlorine, ozone holes again will be there. And dear friends, sulfur dioxide will be there. And as a result of sulfur dioxide, because sulfur dioxide in the stratosphere is there, then it will throw out the radiation. So on one side, the radiation will be thrown out, and the cool, this suit, it will pull up, it will throw the sulfur dioxide above and above, and then more and more radiations will be outside. So complete, the chemistry will change, atmospheric chemistry will change. And as a result, when the atmospheric chemistry will change, it means we are going to be in trouble in next 50 years, maybe perhaps in this century itself, if we are not going to take care of our space junk and taking care of the launching of these rockets, etc. So what uh, I would like to say, that there is a jet stream which I told, and that jet stream of the rocket is much more dangerous than whatever geoengineering which we are doing on the Earth itself. Our geoengineering itself, I told in my last lecture, environment issues are there, but this jet stream of the rocket is doing much more influence, much more dangerous activities to upper atmosphere part than the geoengineering is. So we should make some kind of a, note through this Florida International University, if possible, and we should write to the United Nations to take care of our middle cosmos. And we should say about in detail to the United Nations, uh, because our whatever the climate is being disturbed. Now there are two issues. You can ask me itself. You can ask me. On the other day, in the previous lecture, I was talking that the biodiversity or environmental degradation is taking place because of the human activities sitting on the earth. And today I am talking that our climate may change from the upside down, from the activities which we are doing in the space. So whether the whole process of climate disturbance or climate effect is coming from the top to bottom, or it is going from bottom to top, that is very important, and we should understand very clearly. As on today, both the things are there, both the schools of thoughts are there, and scientists are putting their heads that, but it is now very clear the biodiversity which I was talking earlier, that is disturbed, that is degraded by our human activities sitting on the earth. And this is, we are killing, is the upper atmosphere, and this climate we are disturbing is through the upper atmosphere. And for the upper atmosphere, if the too much disturbance will be there, it means we will have much more serious issues, serious problems over there. So and you can see that the increasing number of the now the small satellites. Of course, one good thing has happened, that now we are able to do the many potential things employing the small satellite. Small satellites, when I say that micro satellites, that is by the shown by the red color, and the green is still much more mass, between the 10 kilogram payload to the 100 kilogram, and the blue, dark blue, is more than 100 kilogram to 1000, and that is the super satellites, etc., and even much more super satellite of 1001 ton mass, etc. You can see, but the number of satellites as a function of time, they are keep on increasing, and we are trying to do much more work, more automation, whether it is banking transactions or the geo transactions or our set earth properties, our ocean properties, our the geo activities, mining activities, or the space activities, everything through the satellites. And so we have to be very, very careful. So the human body, which is in space, the space radiation, etc., they are having serious problem because of the high energy radiation, X-rays, gamma rays, and the high energy charged particles, protons, electrons, high energy ions, etc. And generally they develop the cancer as well as the mental diseases, brain tumor diseases, cancers, etc., as well as the heart problem. And so that also has to be taken care. On the other hand, I would like to say for the psychological effects on the astronauts, because they remain for almost 6 months to 1 year away from the house, from the earth. Nobody is there in the chamber to talk with them, and they have to do continuously the work round the clock. So they come under lot of tension, mental tension and blood pressure disease, etc. So that psychology is always disturbed of them. Then they are going to the various kinds of painful tests, such as the zero gravity, that microgravity test, uh, high energy radiation dose tests, charged particle dose tests. These are very critical and very, and it is not sure that they will pass also. Health related tests, then the food related issues, because they are fond of taking the some other kind of food, and the food which they have to take inside the spacecraft is completely different. Health and medication, or as well as medication, both related issues they go, and the hostile conditions, because they have to be within some cubic feet inside and do all the kinds of work, as well as they have to do the instrumentation work, engineering works also. So they come by and large, lot of tension, and basically they when they return back, then they always come. But it has been found that at least 50% of astronauts may develop the cancer and the brain tumor cancer problem and other heart problem, lungs problem, etc. So there are various kinds of junks, I should say, in the space. One is the natural, that asteroids, comets, small meteorites, etc. On the other hand, the large number of small junks which we have launched and left over, and by crashing the satellites, etc., it is lying. So it is the whole space. Our Jyotish Devas, that middle cosmos, is full of now, I should say, the various kinds of junks, natural as well as the artificial. And we are under danger. And at any time, we may go down. So we are killing ourselves by both the activities sitting on the earth as well as by the space and spatial activities. So what kind of things are there? I have already told that below 1 centimeter, between 1 and 10 centimeter, and more than 10 centimeter, the satellites, payloads, etc. With all these things, I will request all of you with my folding hands that please do yourself some efforts to save the cosmos. हमारा जो आकाश है उसको बचाने की पूरी पूरी कोशिश करें. Please do at individual level, personal level, as well as society level, and give this message, save the cosmos, to all over the globe. Thank you very much. माता जी के चरणों में फिर से वंदामी. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for these all informations about the space junk and the futuristic problems and issues related to health, the atmosphere, ozone, and every other things. So you yourself is a space scientist, okay? And you are involved in creating all these junks.
Yes.
What is the solution from your side?
Do you remember my own satellite, which was on the GSAT-2 satellite, which was launched in 2003 for the sun, solar X-ray spectrometer?
Mm-hmm.
That satellite itself, a few hundreds of kilograms, or maybe actually it is more than 1,000 kilograms, It was deorbited and still it is in the space. And at that time, I was not much aware that this space junk, it will create such a lot of problem. I came to know about this space junk. Are you able to see me, all people?
Yes, yes, yes. Can you stop the share of screen so that we can see all the faces together? You can stop sharing your screen.
Can you see me now?
Yes, yes, yes. Now we can see.
I'm
So
audible. I'm audible.
yes, yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Very
So,
clear.
so what I was
Yeah.
saying at that time, but after 2010, even it was not at that time deorbited, but I was taking and I was asked to give one lecture in some
Mhm.
college in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra as well. And then I realized myself while preparing this talk for them that, oh, it's big junk is there in the space. And there are many issues related to that, which I described today, even in much elaborate way. And there is a, always we are, I should say, we are under danger at any given time. This is what I think.
Yeah,
So
that is
much,
true. That
much
is
more
true.
than biodiversity, this space diversity is a much serious issue. This is what.
So I would say that you are a scientist. You are awarded by the government for your inventions or whatever discoveries you have done. And you yourself know that how these problems have been created by the scientists by inventing
Yes,
all
yes,
these anti nature devices like the satellites or any other things. So you scientists have to suggest what can be the best solution to come out of these futuristic problems, and what can be the right way to bring back the junk from the space.
Maharaj Saab,
Yes,
there are two lobbies. Okay,
yes.
one is the application lobby and the
Mhm.
industrialist, I should say, lobby, space industrialist who want to
Mhm.
earn lot of money.
Mhm.
The other is the scientists who are in the
Mhm.
service. Okay, and
Mhm.
scientists are worried. Definitely, they are much more worried for every activity. And now, after this call by the United Nations, scientists as well as the industrialists, both are now sitting together how to remove this junk from the space. So some technologies, what we call as a remove debris, there is a name of the project, remove debris. Uh, that is some kind of an, we are trying to remove now this debris or what we say space junk from the, so there are 3 4 technologies. When we will be able to master these technologies, irrespective to the country or anything, but we will make sure that slowly in next, if we will not be able to do in next 10 20 years, then it will be much more serious issue, because many satellite, hundreds of satellites are about to come and big network. So collision will be definitely there. Even if we will remove one by one or the hundreds by one, but because if we will increase the number of satellites on one side, you should take the simple mathematics, remove 10 but putting in 100, so it is 10 times kachra is there.
That is true.
So
So
it is and maybe it may be of the, we cannot I mean throughout those industrialist space lobby, industrialist lobby, uh, just like we could not stop this 5G,
mm,
and perhaps we will not be able to stop 7G also. So, I mean, in the wake of all this new technologies coming, only what we can say is we should only, as I told also in my talk today, we should have a very solid planning while before launching itself, that when the mission is over, its scientific objectives are completed, how we will withdraw back, how we will bring it back down to the earth. That is safe side.
okay. So when life was not there, will not be there, what how people would use the money.
I showed in my last talk grid index, no? And
Yes,
I told in the very last lectures, self-organized critically. I have
yes.
seen, I have seen in USA, I have
Mhm,
seen even in the France also,
mhm,
many multi-millionaires, billionaires of dollars money are there. They also die. They also
mhm.
die. And the money goes to the government or just society.
What is the meaning of earning such an bigger amount of money at the cost of uh, his own life and others' life?
Others' life, as well as you see the changing, trying to disturb the whole cosmos system.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I give you one
We,
example.
we, yeah,
The
we are destroying our own generations who are going to
yeah,
come in
no, but
future.
one artificial space junk of say
Yes.
more than 10 centimeter, and collides with the natural asteroid. It's a natural body, okay?
Mhm.
And when they two collide, then the whole asteroid also, I mean, crashed, and the particles come down. So our artificial thing has crashed the natural object.
Yeah. So
So many things are happening. They are not good, but as per the Jainism, we do not consider them as a good. But as per the development of science and technology, it is clapping the hand.
yeah.
Any questions?
Yes,
Yes.
Questions?
Any other? Yes.
yes, I have a question.
Yes.
प्रोफेसर, आपने जो बात कही तो एज ए जैन मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि हमारे सोल, all our soul becomes the particle. So now, how does the soul carry all that information from life to life to life, and without any effect? What effect, like if it is composed of, I do not know, electron or even more microscopic particles, is it being affected by the atmosphere or not? आपने एक बार कहा कि जब हम शब्द बोलते हैं तो वो जाते हैं और फिर वापस आते हैं, तो आई कैन थिंक कि मैंने गुड और बैड एक्शन की तो दैट particle may come back and I may explain that okay, that is my good karma that came. जो करते हैं वो वापस आता है. It's like a boomerang. लेकिन how my thoughts can
आपका
get carried to somebody else.
ओके, आपका नाम क्या है मैडम?
मेरा नाम हंसा शाह है. हंसा.
ओके, हंसा जी, आपका क्वेश्चन बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन है आपका, लेकिन थोड़ा एक दो लेक्चर पहले आ गया है. मैं इस टॉपिक पे आऊंगा. ये थोड़ा सा जो है
Okay.
कर्मबंध का जो सिस्टम है उससे रिलेटेड है, और वो वेव्स जो कर्मबंध की जो वेव्स हैं वो जरा एक दो लेक्चर बाद में आने वाली है. उस समय इसके ऊपर बात करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा.
That's good.
But it is related to the theory of karma. Okay, लेकिन वो कर्म बंध का जो अपन बात करते हैं ना, हर एक किताबों में लिखा रहता है इस तरह से कर्म बंध होता है, कर्म निर्जरा ऐसे होती है. मैं वो नहीं कहना चाहता. मैं कहना चाहता हूँ कि किस तरह से यहाँ से शब्द की, या आपका कोई भी एक्शन हो, शब्द ना बोले, आप हवा में हाथ चलाएं, है ना, कोई भी एक्शन करते हैं तो उस एक्शन का जो प्रतिभाव है वो वहां तक पहुंचता है, और वो वहां से वापस मैसेज लेके आके हमारे कर्म शरीर के ऊपर बंद होता है.
वो तो है, लेकिन मैं किसको मैसेज देना चाहती हूँ? कब कहता ना कि if you think about somebody and if you want to get your thoughts in somebody else's mind, how would that go to that specific person that I am thinking of? And could they be alive people or could they be just the souls? That is a little thinking question that bothers also. क्योंकि मैं अगर मेरा थॉट मेरे बच्चे शायद से दूसरी कंट्री में है कि कहीं पर भी है, I want to mentally want to give them some kind of message. Does that message reach the right person, and how does it reach? What is the mechanism that it goes to my child only and not somebody else?
देखिए बहुत डिटेल
Specificity.
में मैकेनिज्म, जो ये मैकेनिज्म जिसकी आप बात करते हैं, और शायद हमारे जैन धर्म में तो इसका उल्लेख है, लेकिन साइंटिफिकली
अच्छा,
जितनी जितनी वेव्स अभी तक डिस्कवर हुई हैं,
हाँ,
खोज हुई है, मैं आऊंगा वैसे। ट्रॉबे हेरिंग वेव्स बोलते हैं, ट्रॉबे हेरिंग वेव्स।
okay,
ट्रॉबे
okay,
हेरिंग वेव्स से जो है वो हमारे ऊपर किस तरह से कर्म बंद होता है, साथ में जो दूसरे करते हैं, और यानी जैसे मैं कुछ करूं, जैसे मैं किसी गाय को मार दूं, मैं किसी बकरे को मार दूं, तो वो बकरा या वो गाय जो कुछ अपना रिफ्लेक्शन दे रही है इन टर्म्स ऑफ दुआ और बद दुआ, ओके,
हाँ जी,
वो तो वही हुआ ना, जैसे आप कह रहे हैं आपके बच्चों को आपको कहना चाहते, वो गाय या बकरा या जो कुछ एनी थर्ड ऑब्जेक्ट, वॉट एवर इट्स गिव्स इट देयर रिफ्लेक्शन और थॉट्स टुवर्ड्स मी, दैट आई विल आल्सो गेट थ्रू माय ओन आकाश प्रदेश, दैट कर्म वर्ग में। So that mechanism we will talk.
okay, okay. Thank you for giving such lecture in your time, Professor. It is
Oh, thank
very,
you,
very interesting. Thank you, ji.
thank you, thank you very much.
Thank
But
you, Samani ji. आपको भी
Yes.
thank you for selecting and inviting Professor for giving such wonderful talk. It is amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Professor Ajmal Jain is an outstanding scientist. Okay.
Yes.
And we are
Yes.
proud of him. Okay.
Yes, we are very fortunate to hear
Yeah.
from your mouth directly all the talk from the horse's mouth.
Okay. So, Sharad Bhai, he
हाँ।
wants to ask anything.
मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि
Hmm.
ये इतना सब रिसर्च करते करते आखिर जो महावीर स्वामी ने बोला है वही जो सत्य है, तो ये
Hmm.
सब में टाइम लगाए बिगर, और ज्ञान है ना वो तो हल्का फुल्का है, अपने आत्मा के साथ जाने वाला ही है दूसरा जन्म में, ऐसा श्रमणी जीवन ने सिखाया है। तो मैं तो वही करता हूँ, और मैं मेरे बच्चे लोग को अभी ये रिसर्च में, और ये आकाश तो अनंत है, तो आप ही सब लोग है वही समझते हैं, जो स्पेस कचरा आप बताया वो डालते ही रहो डालते ही रहो, अभी वापस निकालते रहो, तो ये सब कुछ मीनिंग नहीं है, और अपनी जिंदगी चले जावे उसमें कोई मतलब नहीं रहता है, मैं ये समझता हूँ। और अपने को अपना आत्मा का ही कल्याण करना चाहिए, बाकी का ये सब ठीक है। अभी भले आप वैज्ञानिक है, आप सबको सबका वैल्यूएशन और एक जात का आनंद होता है, और होता है मद, ज्ञान का मद, तो ये सब चीज में से निकल जाना चाहिए, ताकि अभी एलिजाबेथ के पास डायमंड है, हीरो है, कोहिनूर, अपने को क्या फर्क पड़ता है, આપણી
वो तो
પાસે
चली भी गई,
એમ શ્રમણીજી
वो तो
પાસે કાંઈ નથી અને શાંતિથી જીવે છે, આપણે એવી દશામાં આવી જઈએ, એ જ હું તો આશા કરું અને ભાવ કરું છું। શ્રાવકના 3 મનોરથ કે જેમ આપણે અપરિગ્રહ બની જઈએ, એ જ સાચું છે। પછી આપણે भव आलोचना करी लई वही बेस्ट है, और उसका प्रायश्चित ले लेना पड़ेगा। तो आपको भी तो बहुत बड़ा प्रायश्चित लेना पड़ेगा। ये धर्मास्तिका है, अधर्मास्तिका है, जीव की हिंसा हो गई, भले आपने तमे तो वैज्ञानिक रीते गયેલા, तो भी वो सब प्रायश्चित लेना ही पड़ेगा, आपको भी लेना पड़ेगा, ऐसा शास्त्र बोलता है।
मैं शरद भाई ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि आपने तो बोला महावीर भगवान ने जो कहा वो सत्य, सत्य नहीं, वो तो परम सत्य है।
परम
और
सत्य है,
आपका
बस।
आपको शायद नहीं, आप पहले लेक्चर में थे या नहीं थे,
नहीं, मैं
मैंने
था,
ये
आगे
कहा
का
था।
भी लेक्चर में था, मगर सब
हाँ,
अर्जुन आपका सुना नहीं है, तो भी मैं तो यही बोलता हूँ
नहीं, मेरी एक बात मैं ये कहना
कि
चाहता हूँ
इसमें से विड्रॉ
कि
करना चाहिए आपको, आपकी जात को, वो तो आप करेंगे ही। जब भी ज्ञान आया है तो ज्ञान का फिर त्याग भी कर देना चाहिए, और लास्ट 13वें गुण स्थानक में जाने के लिए सब वो चीज भी, ज्ञान भी जरूरत नहीं रहता है, वो तो सब करेंगे ही, आप जो भी करे करे। मैं तो मेरी रीत से मेरा जो विचार आया बता दिया, उसमें जो दुख हुआ आएगा तो मिच्छामि दुक्कड़म, माफ करिएगा मुझे।
नहीं, नहीं, मैं तो आपसे ये कहना चाहता हूँ, मैंने उस समय कहा था कि पूरा विश्व कितना भी कर ले,
हाँ,
पूरा विश्व कितना भी कर ले, चाहे इस सदी में कर ले या और एक आध और सदी कर ले, अंततः तो रास्ता चाहे 21वीं सदी नहीं तो 22वीं ने 23वीं में जाके कहेंगे अरे यार वो जैन धर्म ही सब सही था, उसी के शरणम, तो जीनम शरणम गच्छामि तो होने ही वाला
बस
है,
बस
इसमें
वही।
कोई दो राय नहीं है। लेकिन
हाँ जी,
हर
हाँ जी,
चीज का टाइम लगता ही है,
हाँ जी,
और वो
हाँ जी।
टाइम
એ યોગ આવે ત્યારે થાય કે જ્યારે યોગ આવે ત્યારે આ બધું છોડવાનું મન થઈ જાય અને કાંઈ રાખવાનું મન જ ન થાય. હા, ठीक है,
Any
सॉरी.
next question,
Chandani
Mataji?
Chandani Shah, she wants to ask anything. Yeah.
Okay, Vandami Navamsami and Pranam, Professor Jai. Thank you for the lecture. But my question is, if we even try to clean up all the space and to bring the junk back to the earth, do we have any facility on earth that it will not cause more pollution? And is there no way to stop anything, going out more, or even, to bring back things back to the earth?
Okay, this question was asked by Maharaj Sahib, Shamani ji, but again, let me tell, you see, when we say that we will bring it back or remove, means actually we want to blow it off. And we make them very small, less than, even smaller than the nanoparticles. And the nanoparticles, once they come, then in the atmosphere, our atmosphere has a capacity to burn them down to the ashes. And the ashes come down all the way to the earth. And they go inside the earth, mix up with the soil, and they make the new elements like iron, or maybe the silver, gold, koila, coals, or many other kinds of manures, metals. So that is the one way. Earth has a big, capacity to adapt. That is known as adaptation capacity. So can. Other thing is that we bring in other, take them much upper and blow off. But that may create some another problem. If it hits to the another kind of a celestial object,
Yes,
which has
yes.
a clean or no, atmosphere, then it will hit that thing. So that may be dangerous thing. And we
Yeah.
don't know other celestial objects much more closely. Perhaps when we will come to some any other lecture, not in this scientific foundation of Ahimsa, but some other in space, etc., space and time, I will tell you that about the exoplanets, the planets, similar kind of Earth. And हम लोग बोलते हैं ना, हमारे यहाँ बहुत सारे ऐसे जम्बू द्वीप की और इसकी सबकी जो बातें कही, तो but really where it is this Jambu Dweep, we should explore that.
Yes.
Okay.
So we
So
are
we will
only
talk
in the
But
Bharat
these are
Kshetra at
only
the
some
moment.
about 20 lectures only related to the Ahimsa. So not in this, but sometimes next.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Neetu
Thank you.
Jain. Yes, Neetu Jain, you can ask. Please unmute yourself. Neetu Jain, you can unmute and can ask.
Vandami Shamni ji.
Yes.
जय जिनेन्द्र सर.
जय जिनेन्द्र.
सर, जैसे आपने लास्ट में कहा सेव द कॉस्मोस, तो मैं ऐसे पूछना चाहती हूँ कि एक बिल्कुल ही आम इंसान होते हुए हम कैसे कर सकते हैं, हमारा क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन हो सकता है?
बहुत बड़ा कंट्रीब्यूशन हो सकता है अगर आप इंटरनेट बंद कर दें, सभी अगर कस्टमर्स बंद हो जाएंगे, त्याग कर लेंगे, एक तरह से थोड़ा सा अपरिग्रह की और जरा सा जाइए, हमसे हमारे बाप दादा बिना किसी मोबाइल और बिना किसी सैटेलाइट के रहते थे, फिर भी दुनिया अच्छी चल रही थी, उनको भी खाना मिल रहा था, वहीं से ही हम लोग यहाँ तक आए हैं। लेकिन हमारी जो दौड़ है ना, हमारी इच्छा है धन कमाने की, अर्थ कमाने की, हमारा बड़प्पन दिखाने की, बड़ा बनने की, जो भी कहूं मैं, वो राग द्वेष मोह माया, ये पैशन ग्रीड, तो ये सब जो चीजें हैं अगर हम वो छोड़ें तो ऑटोमेटिक जब कस्टमर्स कम हो जाएंगे तो वो जो लॉबी बताई स्पेस इंडस्ट्री की लॉबी, वो अपने आप डाउन हो जाएगी, सैटेलाइट जाने बंद हो जाएंगे। खाली 8-10 सैटेलाइट रहे या 100-200 रहे तो कोई बात नहीं, लेकिन अभी मालूम है हजारों की तादाद में सैटेलाइट ऊपर चले जा चुके, और वो डेड भी हैं बहुत सारे, डिफंक्ट बोलते हैं ना, मरे हुए लाशें।
सर जैसे कि अभी कोरोना के बाद
जी
बच्चों की क्लासेस हैं और अभी हम भी जो क्लास ले रहे हैं वो इंटरनेट के थ्रू ही ले रहे हैं, तो अगर हम ये बंद कर देते हैं तो हम तो आपसे भी बात नहीं कर पाएंगे।
जी, सही बात है। ये एक टेक्नोलॉजी का है, लेकिन मैं आपको एक चीज बताऊं, अगर हम मारते ही नहीं जीवों को, शायद नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में आने वाला है, हम जीवों की हत्या ही नहीं करते तो कोरोना ही नहीं आता।
जी
कोरोना
जी
तो
समझ
वायरस का एक तरह से रिवेंज है, बदला है। रिवेंज बोलते हैं ना, हमसे बदला लिया है। छोटे 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 जो जीव, बैक्टीरिया जो बोलते हैं वायरस, उन्होंने, वो स्टोरी सब आगे के लेक्चर में आएगी। लेकिन तो कोरोना का सामना ही नहीं करने पड़ता। देखिए, ऐसा नहीं कि कोरोना आया है, क्या जब ये मोबाइल और ये सब नहीं थी, कोई टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं थी, तो कॉलेरा आया था पहले। पहले भी कई सारी महामारियां आई हुई हैं, तो वो तो एक कोर्स ऑफ नेचुरल जो साइकिल है उसमें होता ही है, और वो होगा, दैट इज सेल्फ ऑर्गेनाइज्ड क्रिटिकलिटी। तो उसमें कुछ नहीं ज्यादा किया जा सकता है। बट हम लोग जो कर रहे हैं, हम लोग ही तो हत्या कर रहे हैं सब जीवों की, चाहे वो हवा में हो, कि ओशियन में हो, कि पृथ्वी पर हो। आप मुझे बताइए, महाभारत का युद्ध हुआ, मैंने बताया था,
जी
120 करोड़ लोग इंसान, पंचेंद्रिय जीव की हत्या हुई थी। तो कितने छोटे सूक्ष्म जीव, एक इंद्रिय, दो इंद्रिय, तीन इंद्रिय जीवों की हत्या हुई होगी, और उसकी वजह से पूरा पृथ्वी का वायुमंडल है वो ही डिस्टर्ब हो गया। पूरा पृथ्वी का वायुमंडल। और उसके डिस्टर्ब होने से, जो हम कहते हैं ना, सिंधु घाटी की सभ्यता, इंडस सिविलाइजेशन, सिंधु सरस्वती सभ्यता, इंडस सरस्वती सिविलाइजेशन, वो ही खत्म हो गई पूरी की। उसके बाद में वो एटमॉस्फेयर का इफेक्ट उसके ऊपर जा पड़ा। यानी कई सारी, अगर आप नेचर में पेपर पढ़ें, जो ये प्रोफेसर शिंदे ने जो काम किया है, कई सारे तथ्य सामने आते हैं। लेकिन कई बार क्या है कि लोगों की ये जो मोह है, लालसा है, लोभ है, लालच है, ग्रीड है, ये इस सब के आगे वो जो छोटी बुद्धिमत्ता वाले जो लोग हैं उनको चुप रहना पड़ता है, क्योंकि वो लोग तो ज्यादा हैं। को अच्छा बताइए, कौन जो है अभी बंद कर देगा कमाना? मेरे कहने से कोई बंद कर देंगे कमाना? कमाना सब चालू रखिए। मैं हमेशा कहता हूँ, विथआउट मनी डजंट एंड नथिंग हैपेंस। लेकिन जैसे मैंने कहा, अगर $1 मिलियन है, अरे काफी है भाई, बिलियन करने की क्या जरूरत है? उस मिलियन को बिलियन में, मिलियन करोगे तो भी वही 2 या 3 रोटी खाओगे, और बिलियन करोगे तो भी वही 3 रोटी खाओगे। शरद
तब
भाई
तो
अभी
कम हो
बोल ही रहे
जाएगी,
थे, शरद भाई बोल रहे थे, तो वही कि वही होने
तब
वाला
रोटी
है।
कम हो जाएगी।
जी,
इंसान जितना ज्यादा कमाता है, टेंशन लेता है, रोटी उतनी कम हो जाती है।
वो तो बात सही है, लेकिन टेंशन खाता है ना वो,
एज
इसलिए।
मैं सिर्फ ये जानना चाहती थी, एज अ हाउस वाइफ जो भी हम लोगों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज होती हैं उनको निभाते हुए हम किस तरह से अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन दे सकते हैं?
आप एक एनजीओ जो होते हैं, नॉन गवर्नमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सोसाइटीज जो बनती हैं, आप अगर उसमें से ये मैसेज, अहिंसा का मैसेज दें, वो तो मैं आपसे हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, जितना ज्यादा से ज्यादा अहिंसा का मैसेज दें। और ये लेक्चर्स जो हैं, बेसिकली आप देखिए, अलग अलग तरह की हिंसा जो हम करते हैं उनके बारे में आप सभी को अवेयरनेस अगर आप क्रिएट करें एज ए हाउस वाइफ, आपके आसपास पड़ोस में, आपकी जो फ्रेंड सर्किल होगा, उसमें भी
जी
इतना
सर।
अहिंसा का मैसेज अगर आप स्प्रेड करें कि देखिए, हम केवल ये कोई डायरेक्टली किसी एक चींटी को मारते हैं या दूसरे छोटे जानवर को, वही हिंसा नहीं, हिंसा कई तरह से होती है, और ये हिंसा के अलग अलग स्वरूप हैं। तो आप जितने लेक्चर सब सुने और आप लोगों को बताइए, और ये समणी जी के वहाँ सभी वीडियोस भी रखे हुए हैं।
आजकल तो क्या बच्चों को, लेडीज लोग, ये जो पूछ रही नीतू, तो लेडीज लोग बच्चों को मोबाइल पकड़ाती हैं। अब छोटे छोटे बच्चों को, स्कूल गोइंग बच्चों को मोबाइल दिए जा रहे हैं, लैपटॉप दिए जा रहे हैं, इंटरनेट की फैसिलिटी दी जा रही है। हमें ये सोचना है कि हम बच्चों को ये सब चीजें, डिवाइसेस क्यों पकड़ा रहे हैं, है ना?
जी
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक जो है पोल्यूशन क्यों हम अपने घर के अंदर भी, एनवायरनमेंट में भी हम बढ़ाने में सहयोग कर रहे हैं? क्या बच्चों को दूसरे
महाराज साहब,
खिलौने
मैं
नहीं
एक
दे
बात कहना
सकते?
चाहता हूँ।
हम्म
मैं आपके सामने ये जो बैठा हूँ और यहाँ से मैं बोल रहा हूँ, और आप पूरी दुनिया अभी सुन रही है, जितने भी, मुझे नहीं
हम्म
मालूम कितने लोग हैं।
हम्म
मैंने तो पीएचडी जो की, पीएचडी
यस।
एक कैलकुल, मोबाइल तो बहुत दूर की बात है, लैपटॉप और कंप्यूटर भी दूर की बात है, कैलकुलेटर भी नहीं था। कैलकुलेटर भी नहीं था। हम लोग तो उस समय हाथ से सारी जो है, और ग्राफ भी जो बनाते थे हाथ से बनाते।
सर मैं
तो
एक क्वेश्चन पूछना
उस जमाने से मतलब हम लोग यहाँ तक आए हैं।
अरे
तो
आज के, हाँ, आज जो बिलियनियर्स मिलेनियर्स
कहना चाहता हूँ कि आप बच्चे को मोबाइल दे दो, ये कर लो। मैं कई बार थोड़ा सा डांटना भी पड़ता है लोगों को मुझे, कि एक और तो आप कहते हो कि नहीं नहीं जैन धर्म में क्या रखा है और जैन पाठशाला से क्या फायदा हो जाएगा, ये अरे वो वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम है। अरे वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम जैन पाठशाला है, या ये तुम्हारा बच्चा जो मोबाइल हाथ में लेकर के इधर इधर की मटर गश्ती करता है, शुड नॉट से एट दिस प्लेटफॉर्म, लेकिन अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड या बॉयफ्रेंड से बातें करते हैं, वो वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम नहीं है। ये जैन धर्म के तत्व को पढ़ना वो वेस्टेज ऑफ टाइम है। तो ये थोड़ी समझने की बात है।
सविता
हाँ सर, मैं ये बोलना चाहती हूँ, एज ए साइंटिस्ट हम ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी ना डेवलप करें जिसमें पॉल्यूशन मिनिमम हो। वो भी तो हमारा मिनिमम पॉल्यूशन हो, ताकि ये जो चीजें बाद में उठ रही हैं वो उठे ही ना स्टार्टिंग से ही।
नहीं, आप हंसा बहन बोल रही हैं?
नहीं, मैं सविता मारू।
सविता जी, थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग दिस क्वेश्चन। ये मैं नहीं ले पाया था आज के पॉइंट में, लेकिन आपने बहुत अच्छी बात कही है। हम लोग कभी भी जो फ्यूल जो जनरेट होता है, बेसिकली पॉल्यूशन ज्यादा जनरेट होता है, वो उस फ्यूल की वजह से होता है। रॉकेट का फ्यूल है, सैटेलाइट के फ्यूल हैं, जो अंदर एक्सपेरिमेंट्स लगे हुए उनके फ्यूल हैं वगैरह। तो फ्यूल की टेक्नोलॉजी में बहुत काम हो रहा है। और हमारे यहाँ का जो फ्यूल है इंडिया की, जो हम लोग काम में लेते हैं, हमारे यहाँ रॉकेट का तो खैर काफी कुछ डेंजरस है, लेकिन सैटेलाइट की और दूसरी जो चीजें लेते हैं हम लोगों के फ्यूल में जो पॉल्यूशन कम होता है। लेकिन दूसरे कई सारे अच्छे, मुझे नहीं कहना चाहिए एडवांस कंट्रीज भी, लेकिन कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अपना फ्यूल चेंज नहीं कर रहे। जब तक हम अपना फ्यूल चेंज नहीं करेंगे तो पॉल्यूशन तो बढ़ेगा। लेकिन अभी उसके ऊपर काफी कुछ रिसर्च चल रही है कि कम से कम फ्यूल में से रेडियो एक्टिव पार्टिकल्स ना आवे। मुझे सबसे ज्यादा जो डर लगता है वो इस रेडियो एक्टिव छोटे छोटे जो पार्टिकल्स आते हैं और उससे जो जमीन पर आने वाले रेडिएशन आते हैं। तो मुझे छोटे जो बच्चे हैं, 1-2 महीने से लेके 1 साल के 2 साल के बच्चे, मुझे हमेशा उनकी ज्यादा परवाह रहती है कि कहीं, आपने सुना ही होगा, बल्कि आप रोज न्यूज़पेपर वगैरह में भी सुनते होंगे, आए दिन घटनाएं सुनते होंगे कि बच्चे के जो है हार्मोन्स डिस्टर्ब हो गए हैं। उसके तो अभी इतनी छोटी उम्र थी, उसको तो किडनी में ये प्रॉब्लम हो गया है, उसके तो लंग्स में अभी से ये आ गया है। अरे पहले नहीं होता था, अभी क्यों होने लगा? इट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द consequence और रिजल्ट ऑफ this kind of radiations which are spreading all over the Earth's atmosphere as well as on the geosurface. ये बहुत बड़ी डेंजरस चीज है। मैं हमेशा कोई भी नई जो माँ बनती है, जो बच्चा डिलीवर किया है, मैं उस माँ को और उस बच्चे के लिए, दोनों के लिए सबसे दरख्वास्त करता हूँ कि हमेशा, और दूसरे घर के लोगों को भी कहता हूँ कि अभी बाहर ना जाए, और कम से कम उसकी टेंडर स्कीम है, बच्चे को बाहर ले जाए तो बहुत ही प्रोटेक्शन और सेफ्टी के साथ ले जाना।
वो इसीलिए मैं बोल रही थी कि एज ए साइंटिस्ट ये हम लोगों की ड्यूटी बनती है कि हम ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी डेवलप करें जो मिनिमम हार्म करे आपके एटमॉस्फेयर को, यूनिवर्स को। तो वो ज्यादा बड़ा काम नहीं होगा कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी ही वो डेवलप करें जो ये आगे वाली प्रॉब्लम्स ना करे।
मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि बहुत बड़ा पैसा इसकी रिसर्च पे खर्च हो रहा है, लेकिन हर बार क्या होता है, हमें कितना जेट प्रोपल्शन से बाहर ऊपर उठाना है, जान समझे ना, ग्रेविटी के अगेंस्ट में जो है सैटेलाइट को कैसे जल्दी से ऊपर उठाना या रॉकेट को ऊपर लेके जाना है, स्पीड देनी है, मेरा मतलब एक्सेलरेशन ड्यू टू ग्रेविटी। तो वो जो जी के अगेंस्ट में काम करना, तो फिर ऐसा ही फ्यूल चाहिए जिसमें ताकत हो, और इसलिए ये लोग ऐसा काम में लेते हैं। लेकिन अभी ऐसा फ्यूल का उसका अल्टरनेटिव, उसका सब्स्टिट्यूट अभी एकदम से मिला नहीं।
अब भले अभी नहीं मिला, पर हो सकता है समय के साथ धीरे धीरे वैसा फ्यूल भी डेवलप हो जाएगा।
हाँ, हो जाएगा, कभी न कभी तो होगा डेफिनेटली।
हाँ, वही चीज, ताकि फिर ये पॉल्यूशन जो हम बाद में, नहीं सर, ये सिर्फ स्पेस की बात नहीं है, बाकी सब जगह भी जो पॉल्यूशन है, हम हमेशा ऐसी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करें जो मिनिमम पॉल्यूशन दे हर जगह। It's not only in the space, even in the earth.
ऑन द अर्थ,
Earth
अब
itself.
हमारा अपना क्लाइमेट के अंदर ही। जी
That's
जी,
right.
एनी नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन?
नेक्स्ट किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है? नो. Nick, you have no question?
No, nothing.
Okay. Are you following Hindi?
No, but still, I'm trying to stay.
Okay.
I think I don't know whatever I spoke and whatever the questions which were asked in Hindi, many those who are really foreigners, they might have not understood also. I should have spoken in English.
Yeah,
I'm
because
sorry.
some of the participants, they are not joining live discussion class, but might be they are watching video lectures and listening to that, so they should also know the answers.
Anyway, I am Michhami Michhami
No, it is good
Those
because
who
the
could not understand
participants.
my response to the questions because they
Yeah,
were
it is.
मांगलिक फरमाए
No.
नहीं
In Hindi, it becomes quite clear to the participants who are in live discussion. But yes, for those who don't know Hindi, for them the answers would not be so clear.
For
But might
them
be
only.
they will get it. They will get it.
रमणी जी मांगलिक फरमाएंगे?
Yes, Mangal Pat. So thank you very much, Professor Rajmalji Jain. You have collected so many data, scientific data, with all the pictures so that everybody can follow what you are saying. And it is really showing that what kind of pollutions we humans are creating in a space and what can be the futuristic consequences on our health, on our planet, and also the space. So thank you very much for providing all these information. Yes, thank you.
चरणों वंदामी माता, चरणों वंदामी, चरणों वंदामी, चरणों वंदामी महाराज।
राजमल जी, मेरी तरफ से आपको मिच्छामी दुक्कडम कहता हूँ और आपका ज्ञान को वंदन तो करता ही हूँ।
So this knowledge is a very important for all of us because we are using these devices and that's why they are coming into market. And that's why these scientists had to work for that. So we have to control our own desires or all ambitions, all these kind of prouds or pride which we want to show by using all these devices. And we are increasing all these devices in our houses and providing one person is keeping 2-3 mobiles. Why it is required? So now we have to think of
address to her question. So we should stop our own desires. We should have some control, no?
Yes. Mangal Pat Chattari Mangalam Arhanta Mangalam Siddha Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Kevali Prannato Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Luguttama Arhanta Luguttama Siddha Luguttama Sahu Luguttama Kevali Prannato Dhammo Luguttamo Chattari Saranam Pavachami Arhanti Saranam Pavachami Siddhi Saranam Pavachami Sahu Saranam Pavachami Kevali Prannatang Dhammang Saranam Pavachami. So we should make one declaration or some appeal as you have suggested that it should go through FIU, so that you have to plan for that. So in the end of the course,
by the end of this lecture series, when we complete, I think we should make a declaration through FIU to United Nations.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for joining.
Vandami Shamli ji.
Yes.
Thank you.
Vandami Shamli ji.
Thank you.
Jai Sinendra Nai, namaskaram.
Namaskar.
Thank you.